All right, today I'm going to be talking about some seating options and tables, chairs, all different types of options that we can do in room setups here. So we'll just show you some different options so you get some quick ideas and different things you can do within a room. Right now I'm looking at this is the Omni King Edward Crystal Ballroom room right here. So we have this option that you could actually just use this ballroom from these models that are actually already in the program here. But anyways, this is a look at a setup that we played around with last Friday. You can see the room here, and then we just have kind of a sort of reception, cocktail, social gathering sort of setup here. So I'll just show you real quick how to do something like this. And then we'll go into more sort of different types of seating arrangements like classroom, theater, banquet tables, and other options that you can do. Okay, so first thing I did to make these little cocktail areas was I went over into these table options, and we have a few different table options here, and we're always updating this, so definitely check out what the options are here and let us know if you need something else more urgently. But we have 3 different banquet rounds here, so what I did is just drug in a table here, and then if you look over on the right side here, we have a few different options for standard sizes, how many seats you want, and then if you want anything on the table. So if you hit yes, you can have some sort of glassware and different things like that, and then you can turn it off. So I just turned basically everything off within this setup, and then if I wanted a different size table in this situation, so I just scaled the table to a specific size that I wanted. And then you can easily just change the color of any table you have. So I just went over to this color picker here, and I just adjusted the color to whatever I wanted here. So easy way to do that. To create the little flower arrangement on top of it, we have in our build options here, we have scenery, and we have some decor options, or we have some sort of floral options in this other option here. And so if you click on one of these, they're kind of initially meant to create a sort of floral wall, if you will, like a plant wall, so you can kind of create not necessarily a moss wall. I mean, you could adjust it to make it look like it's more moss and whatnot. But you can do all sorts of stuff with this. So what I did is I just created a smaller version of this, so you can just set the dimensions to whatever you want. So let's say I want like 2 feet by 2 feet. So it's going to show up really small over here if I click this. Zoom in on it. So you got this little floral arrangement. And what I do is I just place it, and then I create another one, place it, and then create another one, place that. And now I got this little flower arrangement that I can kind of do whatever I want with. So if I were to let's move it over to this new table here. If I were to kind of rotate it a bit, and just adjust the positioning a little bit. This is kind of just, just a quick and easy way to add some floral here. So this is basically what I did. And then you could adjust all of their color, or you could just select one at a time. But you can kind of adjust what they look like from there. And so yeah, so something like that is kind of what I did. And then you could also adjust the scale of all of them to make them a bit smaller. And so that's kind of what I did for that. And then just adding in some chairs. We have some stool options here, so you could drag in some stools and adjust those. pretty simply, so stuff like that. Okay, so that's how we did that. You can easily adjust or replace the stool you want as well. I think let's see here, I guess that one doesn't work, but if I drag in a different stool, it'll be there. So yeah, so that's kind of how I did that, and then we'll go on and look at some other options for seating in this sort of room. I guess real quick, just these little lounge areas too. These are pretty simple. Just kind of drag in a chair here and put some people on there. You can easily switch out the chairs. So if I were to select both of these chairs, I could just drag in a different chair and replace these to quickly get a different idea of what the options could be here. So yeah, so that's a quick way to do that. You can also switch the people that are sitting there too by doing the same thing, or you could just drag in a new person by sort of moving them over to the chair. All right, I'm just going to go in to this top view here and delete everything and show you how we can really quickly just populate the whole room with seating. So to do that, I'm going to go to this build option, and then the last tab over here is seating. And so we can start with a number of options. So let's start with theater seating. So if I click on this theater option, we want to set the dimensions of the room. So I'm going to go to this top view here and say, let's say the room is about 50 feet wide by, looks like 90 or so feet deep. This top area right here is like a balcony. So I'm just going to do, let's say, a little bit shorter than 50 feet wide, and then we'll keep it at, we'll do like 60 feet deep and see how that goes. All right, and then I'm going to set the separation to like 2 feet to basically say there's about 2 feet in between each chair. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe do like 4 feet in between each row. And if there's too many objects that kind of spawn all at once, then they won't group because there's just too many to group at once. So I might just reduce them a little bit here. Maybe I can separate them into 2 groups. So maybe I put them up here. And what I'm going to do is just create an aisle after I've, let's do 50 feet deep. And then up here would be like a stage and stuff. And so from here, I'm just going to create an aisle in the middle by deleting these. This is going to chairs near the center here. Move this up a bit. And I believe everyone comes in around this area. There's like a big door here and some doors here, I think. And so there you have it. So you have a decent theater style seating set up real quick. You can adjust the chair color a little bit too if you want to. Kind of play with that. And yeah, you can also do some different layouts with the theater style seating. So you can also do a different chair style. We just have a couple here right now. But let's say we wanted to do, we have a circular seating option as well. This room would not work very well with the circular seating option, just because it's a very narrow room, but we'll just play with it just in case. So the way this works is I go in the layout option and then circular seating. And it kind of will go towards sort of the middle of the room here. Let's say you had your stage here, or maybe you had a stage in the middle of the room, or maybe you wanted to put your stage in the middle of the room. You could do that. You could also kind of create a half circle by deleting half of these. So maybe what I'll do is I'll fill this out a bit. So let's say like we just want it to be larger in general. So I'm actually going to move the ballroom down a bit, and we'll say that we want to do like a half circle kind of look. And maybe the half circle is like separated in the middle. So for this, I'm just going to delete kind of the edges here and see what we can do. I'm going to just kind of just playing with this real quick. And then I kind of want to delete these. Well, let's see. If we had like a stage in the middle, move this. Obviously, you'd have to play around with this a good amount to make sure you have aisles and stuff, but you could always delete the sort of middle here. Sometimes you'd actually get a more evenly distributed chair look if you actually just copied this and moved it to the other side. So maybe you do something like this, and then instead of using that, I would actually just duplicate this and rotate it. This way, it should be exactly the same as the other side. Cool, something like that. And then you could always add in your staging kind of in the middle here. Maybe do a half or a full circular stage like this, 15 by 15. Something like that. But anyways, so that's an option. You definitely play with that a bunch. All right, so from there, we'll go on to some different types. So classroom seating. So for classroom seating, you can do pretty much the same thing. So we'll set it at 50. I need to change the separation of this. So separation of each of these tables would be around 8 feet if they're an 8-foot table. And maybe the separation between the rows would be about 8 feet as well. And then we'll do like that deep. And then you kind of do the same thing again here. I believe if you remove the middle tables, or maybe you just kind of create an aisle on the side if you want to keep it, keep as many chairs and tables as you can. And then once you go into the tables here, you can adjust some things again. So you can adjust the color of the tables if you wanted to. You can change the table size like this. And you can also go ahead and change the amount of chairs there are at each table too. And then finally you can add some, let me make sure those get deleted, some water bottles and glasses, basically stuff on the table there. Cool, so that's a look at that. And then lastly we have banquet seating option. So if I click on the banquet seating option, it'll switch the tables over to that. And from here, I can adjust the same thing I did before. So I'm just going to keep the width and depth the same. And then since these tables obviously take up much more space, we'll just create some more separation in between them. So maybe we want 12 feet or so between each one of them. And you can also change the layout with this. So you can do this normal look forward, or you can stagger the tables. With this setup, you might have to keep them this way just because it's a small room. And for the banquet tables, you can actually change the centerpiece. Just kind of a quick option to change the centerpiece really quickly here. And then you could also kind of adjust the linen color as well. So a quick way to get something that you might want. Cool. And so that kind of does it for some seating options. There's more stuff that you can play around with, definitely by adding different objects, and we have sofas, just all sorts of seating stuff for different use cases. But those are some of the basic ones, and especially if you're trying to fill a room really quickly with seating, you can use this seating feature to quickly get as much tables and chairs in there as you need. So, all right, hopefully that helps for adding seating into your event design.